This is Esther Lin for MMAfighting.com, and I wanted to share some of my favorite photos from UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1. Fight week kicked off with open workouts at the Garden. Here's Chael Sonnen doing cartwheels. We have the hockey lights on the setup here, but no ice. My favorite thing about the Garden is the alternating black and yellow chairs, making this neat honeycomb pattern behind Sonnen as he walks around the workout mats. I think maybe I'm a lens flare addict. I look at this photo and wish more light was leaking into the lens, but this is nice too. A bit of the lights washing the corners of the image while Overeem hits mitts with Mike Passanier. This seems like Alistair Overeem's most common facial expression. There's this air of, I don't know, superiority? No, I'm not sure, but it's just the face I see him making in nearly every interview. That kind of, really? You're asking me that? Come on. Years after they fought, Shogun and Babalu are now friends and training partners, enjoying the cheers from the crowd at the open workouts here at the Garden. After the workouts, Babalu was nice enough to pose for this photo of his hand tattoo. Well, I guess it's a face tattoo in a way. I get it. You love him or hate him, but Conor McGregor moves the needle. He's got your ire or amusement, and that's better than no feelings at all. I particularly like his pose here. It reminds me of Nate Diaz's huffed chest. Plus, I always appreciate a fighter who dresses up for the press conference. We were given a sneak peek of the first episode for this upcoming season of The Ultimate Fighter with Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate coaching. This is from the Q&A session. I can't tell you anything about the show because I signed a contract where I'd be sued for $5 million if I told, but it was a fantastic first episode that made me so proud and happy. Want more details? I guess you could pay me $5 million. The Q&A session was also so fun with Rousey sporting her mean mug anytime her rivals spoke. I'm not sure if Rousey was in a bad mood from all the travel and press engagements, but this is a pretty serious stare down. Meanwhile, Miesha Tate did her best to laugh it all off, even the personal jabs. I find both coaches' demeanor piqued my curiosity in the show. In any case, when asked about her team, Rousey perked up and smiled too. Both fighters said it was a draining experience. As I would imagine, anytime you're surrounded by cameras and have most of what you say recorded, it can be exhausting. The next day at the fan Q&A, Rousey was in a fantastic mood, answering every question with sincerity and refreshingly honest, almost innocent demeanor. Rousey carefully considered each fan's question, trying her best to give them some insight into the heart, mind, and life of a champion in demand. Joe Rogan came out to the weigh-ins sporting Google Glass, and of course everyone had to try it on. Here's Octagon girl Brittany Palmer trying the wearable computer on for size. A good weigh-in pose is a must. I'm really unhappy with fighters that don't address the audience with a nice, healthy flex. It's a selfish thing. I just need to make sure I have a clear photo of them weighing in, but I think fans want to get a good photo too. Conor McGregor is actually looking at himself in the big screen here while he gives a good shout. It's always nice to see fighters have a bit of fun too, as weigh-ins can get pretty boring. Brad Pickett takes a photo of the fans at the Garden before getting off the scale. I looked up the photo on Pickett's Instagram. It turned out to be out of focus, but you can definitely see it's from his perspective on stage. A bright light shining straight at him. Fight night starts off with a fury. Every fight was exciting, quick finishes or a lot of back and forth action. While Diego Brandao ends up winning this fight, I really like Pineda's fist blurred as it comes down while the rest of the image is captured sharply, emphasizing the speed. During the post-fight press conference, Conor McGregor fondly recollected the warm reception he received in Boston and noted that the crowd was green, so green he even saw a leprechaun. This made the press room burst into laughs, but he was serious. There really was a leprechaun in the Garden that night. It must be so distressing to feel fine, seemingly clear-eyed Mike Brown being told by the referee that the fight is over. It's heartbreaking to see fighters argue, when seconds before I saw their eyes go out too. They don't know. It doesn't even really sink in as they watch the replay. This fight was everything I hoped it would be and more. And McDonald versus Pickett gave me this photo, a rather gruesome punch face. Here is McDonald telling the referee that Pickett is tapping. I like the dialed-in concentration of the referee here, his hand on the mat as he's close in for a good look, perhaps too closely focused on the triangle, forgetting to look at Pickett's hands. This is $50,000 of bumps, cuts, and bruises. As Pickett walks away from the octagon, the lights create a jagged shadow of his busted nose. He doesn't look like the same person that entered the cage, but his giant heart, his chin of iron, makes it easy to recognize the durable Pickett. The last time Joe Lauzon fought here in Boston, he finished Gabe Rudiger quickly, but this time he would fight Michael Johnson for 3 rounds and ultimately lose. While Lauzon stayed in the fight, he didn't seem entirely present, didn't seem to relentlessly attack for that takedown as would be necessary for his submission game. I wonder if there was just so much on his plate, he seemed kind of exhausted. Or Michael Johnson was simply the better fighter that night. Matt Brown is violence. You see it in his face here as he is about to rain down another blow on the recumbent Mike Pyle. Overeem walks into the arena, eyes locked on the cage, pace consistent, firm and fast but not hurried. There's always something captivating about him. I think it's hard to take a bad photo of Overeem. And then the fight just starts. Overeem batters Travis Brown all over the place, here throwing a knee to his downed opponent's head. Brown shook it off and gave a knowing smile, tells the referee who didn't notice that he's fine, and gets back to his feet, all while Overeem is burning energy trying to finish this fight. And Brown persists, sticking to his game plan of body kicks, and finally sends one up the middle to the Dutchman's chin, as Overeem's arms begin to open up and drop. Brown dives in, as earlier with the Pineda photo, but this time delivering the finishing bash, blurring as it hammers down. I've been a fan of Shogun's for a while, and I suspect that Chael Sonnen is as well, considering his reluctance to sell the bout in his usual manner. I think the way Shogun fights resonates with so many. Here he is, being welcomed by the fans at the Garden as he makes his way to the cage. Chael Sonnen then storms into the fight, as expected, but unexpectedly submits Shogun with a guillotine as the opening round comes to a close. Shogun's disappointment is unimaginable. Even after the fight, Shogun sat on the dais at the press conference, stoic with a 1,000-mile stare. Sonnen walks off without celebration because victory is part of his job. While his fight didn't live up to his own expectations due to injury, Conor McGregor still stole the show most of the week and at the post-fight press conference. Here, McGregor laments not fighting a fight that deserved a bonus, needing to fight more and needing to finish his fight so he'd win such bonuses in order to pay for his custom suits and this gold watch that he claims 3 people died making. I can certainly appreciate a fighter who desires to make both fights and the whole fight week more exciting. This is Esther Lin for MMAfighting.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Milwaukee.